Bluff City Media presents The Anthony Sain Show with your host, Anthony Sain. Now, let's get to the show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show. This is your guy, man, your host, Anthony Sain, here live with my guy, Kenny Stubblefield, in the building, man. Kenny, we doing something. We're doing some making history today, man. We're here going Monday through Friday. This is our first attempt at doing something like this Monday through Friday. This is also our first 2 p.m. time start. Of course, we're doing the show at first at 12 noon. We deep into the afternoon now. This is that grind time, Kenny. So I had a show on another station called Grind Time. It was me and my guy Peter Edmiston. And I like this time, man, because if you at work, this that get you over the hump. Like, hey, almost over. I'm about to quit this damn job. I'm about to walk out. I had an 8. I got the itis. I'm ready to go. This is for the people like that who have to even if you're working from home, man. This is when you might want to go take you a midday nap or go get into bed, man. This is that time of day for the show. Plus I'm sparing some people, man. I'm sparing some of these cats out here in the sports media world, man. I'm getting out their way for right now, man. But I don't want to come stepping on anybody's toes. No, get out these folks' way, man. But yeah, that's for a limited time only, man, for real.
Shout out to all the workers out there. You just had lunch. You just got off your lunch break.
Man,
you're probably feeling pretty tired right now, right? Like you eat that food, you get that little lunch break, and you're like, shit, I got to go back to work, right?
Yeah, we gonna get you over that hump, though.
We're going to get you over that hump.
We're going to get you over that hump, man. So thank y'all for tuning in to the Anthony Sain Show. Going Monday through Friday. Kenny, not many guys in the city of Memphis, not many black guys especially, can say that they have had a daily show where it's strictly their name on it. Of course, you have the Jason and John show. Jason has that show with John, straight one of his just pioneers of what we do. Right. Jason Smith, one of the great legends. Other guys have been, hosts, but ain't many people that can say their name is the name of a daily show. Yeah. And they also happen to be African-American. Kenny Stubblefield. I consider myself a DEI hire for sure. Yeah. Because I'm doing everything independent, bro. DEI, you know what I'm saying? So
doing everything independent, baby.
Doing everything independent, man. Shout out to my boy, Unapologetically Memphis. He the one who put me on to that DEI.
I like it.
For sure. But thank y'all, my guy Mark Marquise is his name. Yeah, shout out to y'all for sure for rocking with us for the first joint, man. Going daily. We're doing this Monday through Friday. I'm excited, Kenny Stubblefield. Give you guys a rundown for the show today. We're going to start off, of course, talking about the NBA Finals. They are set. Those are going to start very soon. This week we'll be seeing those games. We'll talk about that today. The Indiana Pacers and Oklahoma City Thunder. We'll talk about that. When we come back from the break, Kenny Stubblefield, we'll debut a segment that has never been a part of this show before. It's not a segment that's new to me, but it is new to the Anthony Sain Show. That is, Kenny Stubblefield, the church reviews. I went to a great church yesterday that's pastored by a man that I like to call my friend, Mr. Terrell Munger. I went to his church yesterday, so I'm going to do a quick review. I did a very in-depth review, Kenny Stubblefield, from the parking lot to the pulpit, for sure. Yesterday at One Accord. I'm going to talk about that later on in the show. Then Kenny, we're going to bring
some folks might be asking, why do church reviews, Anthony? And the reason why. Let me tell you the reason why we do church reviews on this show.
It's Memphis, first of all. It's
Number one, Memphis. There's more churches in the city of Memphis than there are restaurants. And so
probably true.
There's probably a ton of folks who can do restaurant reviews, do any kind of stuff like that. We're doing church reviews.
We'll take you to church, man.
Because guess what? There's a lot of dangerous folk out there, man.
And we want to sway y'all in the right direction, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's gonna come in the second segment of the show. Also, we are bringing a segment back, man. Well, a segment you guys have not seen in a while. We are bringing back the 3-pointer, Kenny Stubblefield. Yeah. We'll do that later on in the show. Like I said, this week I'll try out some different things to kind of see. Bring some old segments back, try some new segments.
You've been talking about bringing the Inside the Same Brain segment back, and it scares me, bro, because we kind of got away from the inside your brain for a little bit.
Yeah,
it gets real crazy during that time.
Well, I tell you what, since we are doing church reviews on Monday, I won't do Inside the Same Brain on Monday too. I'll leave that for Tuesday through Friday. But let's get into it, man. Like I said, the NBA Finals are set. Kenny Stubblefield, the Indiana Pacers are set to play the Oklahoma City Thunder. First of all, let me say this. Props to the Indiana Pacers. I am not a Tyrese Haliburton fan. I've grown to be more of a fan over time during these playoffs while watching this game. But I'm not a Pacers fan. I'm not a Tyrese Haliburton fan. Let me say that. And mainly because of this, Kenny Stonefield. Things that are supposed to be cool, he makes those things not look cool. And it's things that are very easy to look cool. Like if you hit a big time 3-point shot and you do the choke signal, you're supposed to look like a beast when you do that. He looked like a complete cornball, complete goofball when he did that against the New York Knicks. Also, it was a big shot, but it wasn't a 3-pointer to win the game. So it made it also look kind of lame that he put the game into overtime and he didn't hit the game winner. Those type of things. He wore all black to game 6. They actually did win the game, but he just looked corny even with the all black on. Everything he does is not. It just don't hit right, Kenny stuff. It's the same stuff y'all do with Drake, right? Where it's like Drake is like obviously one of the greatest artists of all time. But we say, oh, well, but he's corny, or he's a Canadian, or he's a goof, whatever. It's the same thing. So I don't know why people try to act foreign about those type of things when it comes down to sports as well. But props to the Indiana Pacers for getting here. Yeah. If you were to make predictions or to bet on FanDuel as far as who would come out of the East this year, the Indiana Pacers were not on my list at all. I don't think they were on many people's list to come out of the East. As a matter of fact, even with them being a team that came, that got to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, you didn't see people really taking that team serious, mainly because the Knicks, fell apart in the playoffs and the way they got dismantled by Boston. You didn't really expect them to be a team that would come back and actually come out of the East this year, right? Especially with teams like Boston, teams like New York who retooled, those type of teams. You expected the Pacers to not be a team to be in the Eastern Conference Finals picture, and definitely not to totally come out of the East, right? And they came out really with no excuses, man. Boston got beat by New York. I think Boston would have lost that series regardless of Jason Tatum's injury. Yeah. New York had control of that series at the time, and you have to give the Pacers props. They have shown to be the best team in the East. And I remember we played the Pacers this year, right? We got down by like maybe 15 to them early in the game. They jumped out on us early, right? And then the Grizzlies came all the way back, beat them. I want to say we beat them like by maybe 12. I was like, man, these teams in the East are ass. Like those dudes had us down 15. We came back and beat them. I think in Indiana or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Pacers beat us the second time around. I want to say it was a close game. I want to say that we played them pretty well in that game as well. But I didn't really have much of an expectation for them. But shout out to them, man, for sure, for making it to the NBA Finals. All the people who are talking about, this is about to be the most least watched finals of all time. Don't watch, bro. It'll be okay. And shout out to the people who said things like, since when did y'all become Nielsen ratings analysts, right? Like, why do y'all care, bro? Like, just watch the game, man. If you're going to watch it. And it's not going to be will the numbers be down? Sure, because there are a lot of casual fans are not going to be here for this, right? There's no Steph Curry. There's no LeBron James. And you remember there was a run where it was Golden State versus Cleveland or Golden State versus LeBron for 4 straight years in the NBA Finals, right? Those days appear to be over, right? But like I said, you're not talking about slam ball numbers.
Right.
You're still talking about massive numbers with what the NBA viewership is. So I think they'll be fine, Kenny Stone.
And if the games are good, which I think they will be,
more people will tune in.
More people
to get around and people will tune in. But you should be tuning in anyway because it's about to be some good basketball. But go ahead.
It's going to be good basketball. Like to me, it's silly. Like you get these narratives that come out from national media folks that say is the NBA in trouble for with this, and it's like that sounds like to me it's talking points from we need big ratings, we need to figure out it's a crisis, right? Like it's not
a crisis, bro.
This is a crisis point for the NBA that they don't have these massive markets that have good teams. Well, then get better teams. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like
right.
Oklahoma City will go down historically as one of the best teams in the history of basketball. And yet we're supposed to be concerned about the fact that it's not the Lakers in the finals. Like who cares? You know what I'm saying?
The fact to show you that the NBA is still super big as far as ratings goes. TNT's contract with the NBA is over, but they're still about to do an NBA show for a product they don't even have on their television.
They don't even have.
Right. Right. Because they understand
who's doing that show.
Bro, I wanted to make that a segment today. I'm not the inside the NBA biggest fan. You're not either.
No.
I don't really care about that show's fate or whatever. I know a lot of people are. If you are, please come in the comments and say you are. That's cool. You don't have to agree with me on that. There's a lot of reasons why I'm not a fan of that show. But Charles Barkley was like, dude, I don't know what the hell they got going on. And with him seeming to not be on board as we probably like him to be, I wonder what the total future of that thing is going to be. Because the way he was saying that they're going to do it on both channels. They're going to do
So ESPN and TNT are going to have dual programming?
They said ESPN will pretty much look like how the show looked on TNT, but the TNT show is just going to be like kind of like a podcast where they're talking about the NBA, but there's no footage. They can't show clips. TNT doesn't have permission to show actual footage of the games. Okay. And they're going to have the show coming on up against games, which is also crazy. These are the same people that say, oh, don't blame us for the perception of the NBA, and then they're actually going to go up against games. So, yeah.
It's a good question. Kip asked, do you think they're going to put Stephen A on the show?
No, he's not going to do that. Like I think he's got enough going on already anyway. I don't think he would even want to do that. Like, and I'm sure they wouldn't want him on the show. I don't know, man. To hell with this show, bro. Like
I can't stand that show.
I can't stand it at all, bro. I've never been like a fan of that show, and I see clips of it. You can't help but to see the clips, but I cannot tell you the last time I sat up and watched Inside the NBA. Maybe when Gigi went off last year, a couple years ago, his rookie year, and he had the big game. I watched it to see what they were going to say about Gigi. No. I'm just not a fan of that show. But Kenny, something else that I think we will see in these NBA finals. Kenny Stubblefield. There's an old adage, Kenny Stubblefield. I tried to say it last show, and I couldn't get it right, but I found it this time. This is that a Chrysler 300 looks like a Rolls Royce until a Rolls Royce pulls up. The Indiana Pacers look like this high pace, high scoring, running gun. Oh, those guys are just having fun. Oh, look at them. They're playing like a college team. Oh, they look like a college team out there. They're going to look like a college team for real in the finals, bro. They look like a college team playing against pros.
They look like the best college team you've ever seen. Right? Like I was talking about this earlier on the $2 Sports Show. Mm-hmm. They are chaotic, but they're really good with their chaos. Yeah. The problem with OKC is they don't allow that to impact them. They're not going to allow that to impact them. Like, what's his name? Anthony Edwards said in the wrap up of their series, he said, OKC's defense is like 15 puppets on a string. And I'm like, yep, that's exactly what they're going to do. For real. That's exactly.
They made them dudes look bad. And man, I don't think it's going to be too good of a series. I think it's going to be moments of good basketball. Don't get me wrong. I think it's going to be some moments of good basketball that are going to be there. Like, I believe that, right? But I think that Oklahoma City is going to make these dudes look bad often in this series. And you're going to see them take their foot out the gas and take a game off. I think the series is going to go like this. I think Oklahoma City wins the first 2 games at home. They probably get the phone call from Adam Silver, like, all right, hey, fam, hey.
Scott Foster gets the
bro. Hey, bro, how do you say this shit? How you say it in Canadian? What do you say? Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, man, go easy on him,
eh?
Can we just get one game, man?
Hey, man.
It's not gonna be something like that, bro. It's gonna be something like that.
You sound like a Hawaiian Canadian.
Canadian. But no, so they'll probably lose game 3. So people will be like, oh, it's a series.
Oh, it's a series.
Somebody loses at home.
Yeah.
And so it'll be a series for 24 hours. And then Oklahoma City will come back, beat the hell out of them in game 4, and they'll close it out at home in OKC. That's the way I predict this thing to go down for sure. I think they're just too good. I think they're just better than the Pacers, bro. You know what I mean?
Canadian, Jamaican.
Yeah, Canadian Jamaicans. Jamaicans. But no,
is there a matchup at all? I asked Drew this earlier, and he couldn't think of one. Is there a matchup at all that you would say if Indiana can exploit this matchup, or any, like, not even just player versus player, but like what they do well, some part of their game, can they exploit anything to get OKC off their game?
If Siakam can give them trouble like Jokic was, but he's not that level of scorer. But like if he makes Chet have to like really play defense, I could possibly see something like that. But they do that stuff, man, like they did against us with Jaren, bro. Where they'll put
Caruso's ass on.
They'll throw Caruso on. They'll have other dudes cheating off their men. Yeah. And just kind of like just be agitating as hell, bro. Like putting 3 dudes on them, basically. The same stuff they did with Jaren, same stuff they did with Jokic. Jokic is the best player in the world, so he can get around it. But I can see that's probably their only hope. I just don't see those dudes. Nah, man, I don't see it. Like those dudes are gonna get smacked. And Haliburton's gonna have a 6-point game or an 8-point game. He's gonna have some games where he's gonna score a lot of points. And like I said, they're gonna try to get out and run with those dudes. But if you run against the Thunder, man, if you turn the ball over, bro, they are going to score. Like, it ain't like you turn the ball over, like they are going to score another end, bro. Yeah. And it's gonna be Jalen Williams' ugly little ass doing a Euro step and laying the ball up, and now you down 30 real fast. Like that's happening. Like and they're a team, like we said, man. They go on runs like those old Warriors teams used to be, but they're not raining threes all over.
Oh my gosh, they do it with their defense.
Over and they're laying the ball up. Like yeah,
that third quarter blitz that they do, kind of like what Golden State
all
did,
defense.
is all defense, bro. It is unbelievable the levels of intensity they put on them.
And I've heard people say like, a false adage in the NBA is that if you get a team down, if you got a 10-point lead, if you want to take it to a 20-point lead, you got to crank it up and score more points. But they said people who are smart know if you crank your defense up, that 10-point lead turns to a 30-point lead real fast. If you can crank the defense up, for sure.
OKC like doesn't. They just don't make mistakes, bro. Like that's their thing. Like they just don't make mistakes. And let me ask you this: how much of OKC success comes down to the fact that they're able to be ultra aggressive with their hands? Like,
you can't call everything. They foul the hell out of teams, bro. And there's a Memphis Grizzlies fan who watched the grit and grind era. Salute to y'all, because you've seen the blueprint with us. Like we did the same thing. It's a foul the hell out of teams, bro. But like the Thunder, like I said, they are a good team, bro. I think we're about to see not only that the West is better than the East, but just how much better the West is than the East in this series. I could be wrong. I doubt I am. I think it's going to be fun games. There's going to be moments of the game where it's two teams getting up and down, playing hard defense, knocking down big shots. There's going to be a lot of that type of stuff. But I don't think Indiana Pacers, they're deep, but they're not as deep as Oklahoma. And I think they're going to make short work of that team for sure. And that leads me to my final thing I'll talk about as far as this series is concerned, Kenneth Stubblefield, because, in the national media, they just can't talk about the games in front of us, bro. We got to have some weird narratives to argue about outside of the actual games. Right. So the question I'm going to bring up is Tyrese Haliburton a superstar? I'm going to give a simple answer to that. No, he's not. But the thing is, who gives a damn? Like, why does that matter, bro? Like, why is that even a conversation, bro?
Don Michael Norwood said the league thrives on megastars, especially to keep casual fans engaged. That's what's missing this finals. So does that answer your question? Do you think that superstar is missing in this finals? Or is it SGA? Is it Tyrese?
Thing, though, man.
Is it
Steph Curry didn't become a megastar until he won their championship. And they were in the finals all the time and making those deep runs.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like we just said, we're missing an era where it was the Golden State Warriors versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right. It was LeBron James versus Steph Curry. Those two markets are two small, pretty much small markets, especially Cleveland, right? Golden State is the little brother in California. If you talk about history, you're probably talking Lakers. No, the Sacramento's the bastard stepchild. My bad. You're talking about Lakers, Clippers, Golden State, Sacramento, right?
Right.
Or whatever, in some type of era. Golden State's got a championship. So, but I'm just saying, but they're not the freaking Lakers, bro. You know what I mean? So, but over time, those guys became the stars you want to see on television. Nobody was checking for Cleveland or Golden State, 10, 15 years before that. But those guys, if he's a guy who's getting his team to the finals 2 years in a row, he's in the conference finals. I'm not saying he's ever going to be a superstar. He's not a guy who's a box office guy who's ain't nobody trying to buy them in the Air Tyrese's out here. I mean, Air Halleys. Ain't nobody trying to get them joints. But, he's a star, bro, and he's a really good player. So I don't even understand why the superstar conversation even matters at all. Like, if he's good, his team's good. Whether he's the best team or he's looking goofy. Once again, like I said, looking goofy as hell and stuff that's supposed to look cool. They do the Eastern Conference Finals award-winning ceremony. He walks his goofy ass up like he thought he wanted.
It's funny, man.
And Pascal Siakam.
Do you think it was a joke? You think he was?
No, man, it's a goofball,
I think he was a joke. I think it was a joke because you saw what Drewski. You saw what Drewski did in the All-Star game festivities, right?
Like, same shit, yeah.
Oh my god, it was so funny. I don't know. Yeah, I would be. It'd be hilarious if that really happened. Like if he really thought he was gonna win, I'd be like, bro, that's crazy. But
oh man. Yeah, shout out to Don Michael said he's hooping like Steve Urkel. Yeah, he is for sure. I guess that's who he's talking about. Steve. He said Stevie. I think he meant Steve Urkel. But yeah, he definitely looks like Steve Urkel. But yeah, shout out to them. You guys had a hell of a run. Like I said, man, the Rolls Royce is about to pull up. Get y'all Chrysler ass out the way. But we about to take a break. And like we told y'all last time we did one of these, man. If you're watching the show any way other than YouTube, there is a link in the comments. Scroll up to the top. I don't know how to pin comments on YouTube.
We'll figure
even
it out.
though it's on my live stream. But yeah, hit the YouTube link or go to YouTube, search Anthony Sain Show. You should see it in the comments. If you scroll up to the top, it's up there. Go there now. Because
you got 2 minutes and 18 seconds to get there.
You got like 2 minutes. And when we come back, we're doing the church reviews. Like I said, if you're watching anywhere other than YouTube, this feed is about to die. The show is not over. There's a lot more show to go. Go check us out over there. But we're about to take a break. Hope to see y'all ass over there, man. Not. Hey, I told y'all what to do, man. You're bullshitting at work anyway. You're working at home with your drawers on. You're watching movies and shit. Watching the damn show. Take your ass over to YouTube. We're going to pick this thing up in a minute. We'll see y'all guys soon.
Looking for an alternative to alcohol or conventional medicine? Check out Ounce of Hope, a Memphis-based dispensary with 2 local stores in the Sanderland Center and on South Cooper Street. You can get all the products you need in a location convenient to you. Each store offers an intentional shopping experience with dedicated bud tenders to answer all of your questions, from product selection and mushroom blends to our personal favorite, the Delta 9 seltzers. You gotta try the Peach Buzz. Try Ounce of Hope at either one of their 2 Memphis stores or at www.ounceofhope.com for convenient products shipped right to your door. Use the promo code BluffCity for 15% off any order, excluding sale items. Cannot be used in conjunction with other promotions or discounts. One use per customer. Do I think that the spring transfer portal is that real or counterfeit? Should it be closed? I kind of like it. I think I do kind of like it because it does give power to the players a little bit more to be able to control their own narrative, control their own story. My big issue is the December portal, the winter portal. The dates are weird. It's in the middle of the season.
I think that we should do away with the December transfer portal.
Yes.
And add those 9 days to the spring transfer portal. The season is just ended. We've literally it starts around championship weekend when you got the SEC, Big Ten, ACC championships. It starts right after that. And so that can create some kooky things. Look, I'm all about the players getting paid and having power because coaches can leave during different times. But there is designated free agency periods in professional sports when you can pick up and sign free agents. And I think we need to do that. And I think it needs to be in the spring, after spring practice only.
Tune in to the $2 Sports Show with Rusty Witten and Drew Gann every Tuesday and Thursday live at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Kenny Stubblefield. It is time to debut a segment here on the Anthony Sain Show. For the first time, a saying that is near and dear to my heart. Why Kenny Stubblefield? For those of you who don't know, my father was a Baptist minister, Baptist pastor, a long time, and I am a preacher's kid, which means that for one thing, I've been around a lot of church.
Yep.
And I've seen church from a viewpoint
Yep.
the other people may not be able to relate to, right?
Well,
I've also worked for churches, and I worked for media teams, and I worked in creative arts ministries and acting and all these different things that are all part of the church. I've seen all the inner workings of it, right? I've worked for churches in part of operations crews, taking out trash and flipping rooms over, and all these. I've seen all this stuff. Like I've literally seen people's trash who work for the church. Like I've been involved in this for a long time, right? So
how many times at a church have you torn down chairs and put chairs up in a
a lot of times. And I'm telling you, if you work in the media team, you see the funniest shit ever from the bird's eye view that you have of being in the church, right? Like for real. I'm telling you, I see some wild stuff, man. But thank y'all for the people who switched over to watch here on YouTube. We will give you that first segment of the show each and every day. That's the plan right now, is to get y'all over there. And then for you guys to switch over. If you switched over to YouTube, let us know in the comments so we'll know. If you came from Twitter, Facebook, somewhere else, please let us know in the comments if you switched over to the YouTube. We're experimenting, guys. We're trying to see different things, how they work. Chris Anthony, my guy, says happy that we're getting the daily show. Man, thank you, man. Thank you for rocking with me, man, for sure. All right, let's get into this thing. Kenny Stubblefield, Anthony Sain's church reviews. We went to One Accord International yesterday, Kenny Stubblefield.
Yes.
Pulled up in that joint, man. The church is pastored by my guy, man, a brother by the name of Terrell Munger, Kenny Stubblefield. The church is located on 47 41 Winchester Road, near the corner of Winchester and Perkins. Hard to describe what that part of town is, but y'all don't know. Just keep riding down Winchester till it start looking kind of different. It's right there. It's over that side, but where the Salvation Army and all that old stuff used to be in the hotel salvage store and all that type of stuff, man. But yeah, so I was out there yesterday. Terrell Munger is a guy who's known for he does a lot of plays in the city of Memphis, right? He does seems like he does multiple plays a year, like maybe 2 or 3 plays a year.
Right.
Also has a rapping background, and I want to say he's not originally from here. I want to say he's from Atlanta. Or maybe he was born here and moved to Atlanta and came back. But Atlanta's part of his background. I'm not really sure to what level. He like I said, he used to do some youth programming for kids in Atlanta, some positive stuff. And he's kind of doing, that same thing now. He's a guy who has a big heart for families and marriage and all those type of things. He puts his marriage first. He talks about marriage being your first ministry, all those type of things. His wife's name is Tiffany Munger. I want to say that she kind of co-writes and directs his plays with him. And I know that she is a liturgical dancer. Ken, do you know what a liturgical dancer is?
I know what a dancer is, and I know what a liturgy is, but what's a liturgical dancer?
What's a liturgy? Was that like something that had to do with like a sermon or a message or something? Or spiritual? Does that mean like spiritual dancer?
Yeah, it's like a liturgical is like a song, right? Like a liturgy is like a song from the Bible. I think is
no clue what that meant, bro. No clue what that meant.
Look who's here.
Terrell Munger.
Hey, let's
in the chat, man.
In the chat, tell us what a liturgical dance.
Liturgical dance. I bet he'll know. It's what my wife does.
Shout out.
I've said the term a million times, but never really knew the definition of it.
Right.
It's just some church shit, man. Liturgical. It's liturgical. All right, so I'm glad Pastor Munger's in the comments as well. Kenny Stubblefield. Before I met Terrell Munger, I would call he looks like if Penny Hardaway decided to be a pastor after playing in the NBA instead of coaching college kids, right? He looks like I used to call him Pastor Penny Hardaway, what I used to call him, because he literally looks like Penny Hardaway. Like, for real. I used to call him Pastor Penny Hardaway for years, man, because he looked like Penny if Penny decided to preach instead of being a basketball coach. But like I said, I believe he had spent some time in Atlanta. Just give me y'all background on him, right?
Dancing out the words to the song by their interpretation. Boom.
All right, shout out.
Interpretive dance, basically.
Appreciate you, Pastor Munger. So like I said, he writes and does plays, all those type of things. Also, something else about the pastor. I'm giving y'all much background as I know. I was going to call him today to confirm some of this stuff. I said, now let me just kind of go by what I know. I don't want this to seem like I'm doing some kind of fluff piece for this man's church, man. So, like, I go by what I kind of know. He's also doing a great initiative here in the city of Memphis this summer that I'm also a part of, Kenny Stubblefield. It is the Inspire Memphis initiative that he's doing. It's a summer initiative program to keep kids involved in safe, positive activities, including basketball leagues. A block party is going to be off the chain coming up later on this month, if I'm not mistaken. A social media award to promote positivity and positive posts and just viral things that kids do that are positive instead of negative in the city. And also, Kenny, my organization, me and Julia Content's organization, Memphis Magic Volleyball Institute, we're holding clinics for the young ladies in the city.
Let's go.
Throughout the summer. They're starting very soon as well. We're all part of Pastor Munger's initiative he's doing in the city. And the way he spells Inspire Memphis is he capitalized the I-N in Inspire and the M-E in Memphis. So it's like in me. Like it's up to me to really change Memphis, right? So I'm a part of that. And yesterday when I went, Kenny Stubblefield, was a special day because it was the pastor's wife's anniversary Sunday. Kenny, I know you grew up in probably a white church or a church that had a white pastor.
Why would you say that?
Because you're a white dude. And I know some organizations that you were part of.
That's a fair point.
Back when you were going to church. Kenny, let me ask you this. Is the concept of a church anniversary something that you see in the white church? I've never seen it outside of the black church, so I'm asking, is it something that exists?
I don't think to the same degree or level, but yes, I think there's like a.
They probably say, "Hey, Pastor Dan, Pastor Margaret, congratulations! Hey, y'all keep it moving."
Well, I will say this. The idea of, and God, I'm gonna try really hard not to sound any crazy. The idea of celebrating a woman pastor is out the door. Like that's not happening in the church situation that I grew up in.
Right. I don't think that. Well, in the black church, the pastor's wife is kind of upfront with him,
100%.
whether she's actually serving in a capacity to preach or not.
Right.
We do the first lady thing or the lady so and so thing, and she may or may not. She may like speak to the women for Women's Month or do the kids corner with the kids or something, but she's not technically a pastor on the role or the roster or whatever.
Right.
But I don't really know what her role is there. I think she might be in some sense. I know she's the liturgical dance thing. I know she does it. Right. So I don't know. But
like even the idea of first lady is not
right.
It's not something that's talked about.
Because I know a lot of white pastors in the city of Memphis. I have no idea who their wife is.
Exactly.
What she looks
that's exactly what I mean.
Right. All right. So I will say this. This was a little different because typically when you have like Pastor's Appreciation Day, that's what I grew up on when my dad was a pastor. We got a money tree. You know what the money tree is?
I know Kendrick Lamar has some money trees, bro.
A little different.
A little different. Okay.
They buy.
My bad.
They buy a plastic plant, right?
Right.
It's like a cheap plastic plant you buy somewhere, and they get money and they fold it up and they make the money look like leaves, and they like take the money to the plant. Right?
I love it.
So, and if you look at it, it's like, oh shit, it's a lot of money, but it's probably like $20. So as a kid, man, whenever I see this money tree, I'm like, oh shit, we rich. Like my dad got a money tree. We freaking rich around here. It might have been like $40. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there was no money tree yesterday. But typically, we go back to my point, bro. Typically, when there's a pastor's appreciation, it's either based on the day that they founded the church, if they founded the church, or the day that they began being the leaders of that ministry. Yesterday, they were literally celebrating their wedding anniversary.
Beautiful.
And it was public that this is about the union of me and my wife. That's something I also thought was awesome about the church too, because there were a lot of people there. The majority of the people in that crowd were married. They were a married couple, right? And let me go back to this too. The church is what I would call a mid-sized church. Okay. I'm gonna give y'all the scale of what I mean by the different sizes of a church. I think anything between 0 members to 75 members, I call that a small church. Right. Would you agree? You're a small church. Yeah. All right. 75 to 300, I'm calling you a mid-sized church. So that's how many people, not in your role, but that's how many people are in attendance.
Like showing up there on a Sunday.
Every Sunday. I say you're a mid-sized church. That's the range that One Accord was in yesterday. To me, a big church is 300 to 1,000 people. There's a big church showing up on a Sunday. Anything 1,000 and over, I'm calling you a mega church. If you're averaging 1,000 people, when I say people, I mean 1,000 adults. If you got 1,000 adults showing up in your church, right? I call you mega. So that's it. You got small, mid-size, big, and mega. This church is what I call a mid-sized church. What was I saying? Okay, so they had the pastor's appreciation where they were celebrating their marriage, and that's something they're big about, because most of the people who I saw they were doing something, were doing it in pairs or in couples, like the husband and the wife were doing the offering together, or the husband and the wife were doing this Bible reading. Or
do you think that's a normal thing, or is that just that Sunday
it felt normal, bro? Because these seemed like people that were in position, right? Like it felt like it was normal. So I saw a lot of married people, and the sweet thing about it being married couples is that it wasn't just married couples, because I came from a church before. There were a lot of married people, but it was super young married people who got married like in their 20s. And ain't none of them niggas married no more. Ain't nobody married no more. So what I liked about what I saw yesterday is what I'm calling Kitty Stubblefield the sweet spot age for marriage, which to me is your mid-30s to 50s. Most of the people seem to be in their mid-30s to 50s, where more than likely the person they're married to is not their first wife.
Okay.
I'm assuming. I don't know. It's just kind of that age range, right?
Maybe it is. Maybe they are.
It could be, but but that age of 30 to 50 is more when you're more mature. You've kind of accomplished some stuff. Yeah, your kids might be grown if you got kids, and you're just kind of more ready and mature, ready to learn, and that type of thing. Something about Pastor Munger as well is that he is a guy who is very transparent about mistakes he's made in the past, like. Whether it be with his son is Tyler Munger, who's a super funny stand-up comedian in Memphis, and Pastor Munger will tell you about things with with Tylen's mom that he did much differently with his own wife. And also throughout the journey, the 13-year journey with his own wife, things that he's learned during that time, right? So I thought that's super dope. I thought that was super awesome. The amount of married couples there as well. So I get there at 9:30 because they have like this discipleship meeting in the morning. Service starts at 10:30. So they had this hour-long like discipleship meeting that's led by the senior pastors, right? And he's talking about love and marriage, and he's giving people like marriage tips live on a Sunday morning. And it's like probably 20 people in the room and had continental breakfast. So I was expecting like the little Danishes in the pack,
bro,
and some fruit or something like that. No, bro, them folks had bacon, they had regular bacon, they had the bacon flavored fruit roll-ups, the turkey bacon. You know, that's what I call it, bacon flavored fruit roll-ups. The joint was good. I eat that crap. It was good. Yeah. They had some freaking quiche, bro. That was good as hell.
The quiche is
juice, all that type of stuff, fruit, bro, all that type of stuff.
Any breakfast casseroles?
That's what quiche is, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Why people y'all eat quiche? Y'all eat it?
Yeah, I got quiche downstairs right now.
I get what you're talking about though. Like I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they just got the biscuits at the bottom of it. Nah, they ain't had it. Nah, they ain't had it. But they did have a group of ladies that were called the Golden Girls, Kenny Stubblefield, who I guess they were like the modern day version of the church mothers. Do you know what that is in the black church? All right, so these are the ladies that were older. I'm assuming that the breakfast was made by the church mothers or the Golden Girls. I'm assuming they had something to do with it because their quiche did not taste like it was made by young women's hands, Kenny Stubblefield. So
or by Sam's Club or Costco.
Or by Sam's Club. It did not seem that way at all. So service started at 10:30. I walk in and there are guys everywhere. That's something I'm big about, man. I need to see some dudes at your church. And it was dudes who, man, they had little golf shirts on, right? They had like their position, like what they do. Like you knew who worked there, right? And guys who were serving, you knew they were there. And they look proud to be there, look happy to be there. And that kind of stuff to me tells me that Pastor Munger is a man's man. Like guys like to be around him. And another thing that was a big deal to me, Kenny Stubblefield. The guys that were there were guys who looked like when they were in the world, they had hoes, Kenny Stubblefield. That is something to me that is extremely important. If you look like a lame dude who in the church, I don't want to be there. But if I be around some dudes who look like they had hoes, who battle with hoes to this day, Kenny Stubblefield, them type of dudes I like to be around, man. You know.
So what if it was a church full of Tyrese Haliburtons? Would you?
I'm walking out. I'm walking out. Man, there's a lot of manly men walking around that joint, Kenny. You know what I'm saying? For real. I was like, man, let me get a shirt. Man, let me fly. Let me hold up one of these corners over here, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was on. So at Kenny Stubblefield, there was one guy that was part of his men's group that I would say he was his armor bearer. He had like the little earpiece around his head, like he was plugged in, right? He had the earpiece around his head. And for those of y'all not familiar, in the black church, we like to keep armor bearers. Not because there's like an immediate threat of something happening, but just in case one of y'all want to do something, y'all have to take a hard choice on whether you want to do it or not. Now, what that thing might be, I don't know. But he did, but he wasn't like, I've been in church situations where I've seen it where, like, dude, this is like the freaking mafia. Like you looking like whoever, like you looking like whatever, bro. Like you ain't looking like a pastor at all. But he had an armor bearer that was with him and his wife. And his wife had an armor bearer as well. And I want to say the armor bearer was married to the lady armor bearer. But his armor bearer that he had, Kenny Stubblefield, looked just like LeBron James.
Was it LeBron James?
So he looked like Miami Heat LeBron James, who had like the low tapered beard, right? So I'm thinking if Penny Hardaway is the pastor, surely who better to be your armor bearer than freaking LeBron James at your church in Memphis, right? So I was really impressed by those guys. They had some type of youth services going on simultaneous to church, right? I think they had a nursery set up for little bitty babies, but I know they had 2 rooms with children of different ages going on. And it seemed like that was cool. So I don't count that as church numbers. When I say what size your church is, I go by the amount of adults that are there. But It might have looked like maybe 20 kids on each side. But they did have some type of services available for the children. I'm assuming that's something they do every Sunday and not just on pastor and wife anniversary. Another thing I'll say about the church is that they maximize everything. Like I said, they're not a big church. But you would not have known that by the way that they present themselves publicly. What I say about it, they do a lot of stuff big. Marketing, technology was off the chain in there. They were maximizing space. Like I said, they had several multi-purpose rooms that they were using for this and that. They'll turn this into that. They even had microphones in the room they were in when they were doing the early morning devotion with the breakfast, whatever they had that mic'd up, and it was a interactive thing. It wasn't just him just wipe up there talking. They were allowing people to ask questions, literally interrupting them to ask questions. So that was a really cool thing they did. They had a guest speaker, Kenny Stubblefield, who came up and spoke. It was a lady minister and who was a mentor of Pastor Munger's, and she came to she gave a message talking about how you have to play your hand that you're dealt sometimes, Kenny. He said you have to play the hand that you're dealt in life, right? But when God is on your side, he'll give you everything that you need to accomplish what you have to do. And I was getting inspired by what the lady was saying. I like what she was saying. But it was one thing that, like, you know, I grew up, my dad's a pastor. I've been around a lot of preaching, right? So I was like, man, it was one thing I would have said, because she was talking about, if I was preaching that thing, Kenneth Stubblefield, she was saying, like, sometimes you'll be playing spades, you don't have but one spade, right? And then I was like, man, that's okay. Yeah, I've been there. I can relate. I would wish that she would have said, oh, but you got a partner in Jesus. Oh, come on now, kid. He got the big joker. I would have had the folks tune me. Oh, he got the little joker. He got the ace of spades. And that one little spade is gonna walk because your partner. Oh, come on, kid. I was about to take y'all somewhere on that one, kid. Anyway, but in total, I had a great time at One Accord. The run time was a little long. They started on time. They started at 10:30. They ended around like right on the nose, 12:45. They had stuff set up that like the screen opposite the pastor, like to kind of control time. So I think that time is something that they care about. This particular Sunday, I'm assuming things ran over because of what it was. It wasn't a normal Sunday. It ran over, but I'm assuming that their service probably feels like a normal service is more like an hour and 45 minutes. But like I said, they were so on the nose with the 2 hours and 15 minutes that it feels like in a normal situation, they're probably on the nose too. Because I value that type of stuff, man. You value my time as a church, man. You can get me up in that joint again. But like I said, if you're somebody who's in that 30 to 40 range, 30 to 50 range, they had some people in their 20s. There was a lot of people in that sweet spot age, like I said. If you're married or inspired to be married, I think that Pastor Terrell and Miss Tiffany Munger are a good example for that. If you want to be around those type of people, that type of environment. It's cool church, man. Like I said, they do everything in excellence. They start on time. They had strong men everywhere, guys out on the parking lot. I felt secure with my car and all that type of stuff. I would definitely go back, and I would suggest, if that's the type of church you're looking for, to go visit One Accord International, visit their website. I don't have it. I would say it'll be up when we post the show tomorrow, but we live, so go look up One Accord International in Memphis and go check them out.
Well, and I'll say this, as somebody who I grew up, I spent a lot of time as a youth pastor. And so I got a lot of love for kids, got a lot of love for teenagers, things like that. I also have a lot of fear for there's some janky dudes out there that are leading youth. Sure. One Accord International. I don't know anything about the church outside of the
know that Munger's a solid dude.
I know Munger and I know Latrell Freeman.
Latrell Freeman, the youth pastor,
the youth pastor at that church is a guy I've known for years and years and years. Him and his wife are amazing people. You might know him as Young Titan, a rapper here in Memphis. But Latrell Freeman is one of the best guys I know. So you can feel safe taking your kids there. So
yeah, for sure, man. And that type of stuff definitely matters these days. Like, how freaky is the youth pastor? Let's look into it. I don't even want to get started, bro. But yeah,
get me started, bro.
Yeah, hey, we got some stories to tell. But can everybody take a break, man? We're gonna come back. The 3-pointer is gonna be next on Anthony Sain Show. We'll see you guys in a minute.
Looking for an alternative to alcohol or conventional medicine? Check out Ounce of Hope, a Memphis-based dispensary with 2 local stores in the Sanderland Center and on South Cooper Street. You can get all the products you need in a location convenient to you. Each store offers an intentional shopping experience with dedicated bud tenders to answer all of your questions, from product selection and mushroom blends to our personal favorite, the Delta 9 seltzers. You gotta try the Peach Buzz. Try Ounce of Hope at either one of their 2 Memphis stores or at www.ounceofhope.com for convenient products shipped right to your door. Use the promo code BluffCity for 15% off any order, excluding sale items. Cannot be used in conjunction with other promotions or discounts. One use per customer.
the Grizzlies have to do something. Like something's gotta happen. Jaren was really great with his deal last time. He took a team-friendly deal that decreased in value with each year, which is awesome. I just don't know what to expect as we look towards this next deal, this extension. It's tough to predict what he's going to be making this payday. I really don't know.
Back in February, it felt like a bygone conclusion that he was going to get the Supermax $345 million contract, and the Grizzlies needed that because next summer he's an unrestricted free agent. So there's going to be a lot of upheaval and turmoil or whatever to get there. Could we wait to next summer and he get an all-NBA team or defensive player of the year next year? Absolutely, that can happen, and then he could get that Supermax again. I just don't know that either side is going to be willing to risk that heading into free agency, especially not the Memphis Grizzlies when you have somebody like Jaren who, outside of Grizzlies fans, which this is wild, is looked upon as one of the better players, young players in the NBA, great two-way player. Somebody's going to pay that dude.
Tune into The Daily Grind with your host, Loot Hatmaker, every Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Shout out once again to One Accord International. Give y'all that address one more time, man. Pull that junk up for y'all.
I should have had it up here. My bad.
Yeah, it's all good. If you get a free moment, man, drop it in there. But it's 4741 Winchester Road. Go check them out in that Winchester and Perkins area. I don't know their website either. Just Google that, John, man. You'll find it. But yeah, shout out to my boys at my people, man, at One Accord International. Our first Anthony Sain Show review. Gonna do more of these, man. I don't know if you're gonna do them every week because that will require me to be a weekly church attendee. So I don't know if that's happening. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. Put the name of your church in the comments as well. We might come y'all way, man.
Come and hit us up. Maybe we'll come and see you.
Yeah, we might pull up on your pastor, man. No, don't have me now goddamn day. You better start on time. I'm not gonna play with y'all.
Do you have a time limit? Like, what's your cutoff?
Hey, no comment. But hey, we'll talk about it another time. But don't play in my time. If you start on time, bro, I'll give you some grace. I can rock with you. Like I said yesterday, they had a special event, so it felt like it was probably about 30 minutes of stuff added to it. You know what I mean? So, but it felt more like an hour 45-minute service, which is really my sweet spot, about an hour 45. But it felt like it was a few things added to it yesterday that would not have been part of their normal service. Yeah, so check them out. But Kenny Stubblefield, we are bringing a segment back, man, that we have put down. The three-pointer, Kenny, we were talking about three things going on in the world of sports. Kenny, number one, New Orleans Pelicans are saying that everyone is available.
Who said that? Is that a report or is that?
It was a report. It was one of these dudes, one of these national podcast guys are saying that they
Do you believe that?
Yeah. Because my thing is either you're rebuilding or you're bullshitting, like, as far as that team. Yeah, because I don't think they're. But that does not mean it's a fire sale. People hear that type of stuff. Think you can just go in and just like you're at MVets, like you're at the thrift store, right? Like that's not what that particularly means. Like if you want to talk business, they're basically saying we'll talk business about anybody. I've seen a lot of Grizzlies fans because I said, okay, the Grizzlies should go hard at a Herb Jones, right? Then people say, well, why not Trey Murphy or why not both of them or why not these three dudes or whatever? Like, and those things are cool, but you have to have the assets to get those things going. And I still think that a guy like a Trey Murphy will garner a lot of interest from other teams. He's going to be sold at a high rate. We just saw that I cannot say his name. Kenny Stubblefield.
From where? What?
Mikal Bridges. We just saw the amount of money he went for last summer, right?
But so you don't think he's on that level as Mikal Bridges, though, right?
He will get.
You think Trey Murphy's on the level of Mikal Bridges?
I think a Trey Murphy trade, just for Trey Murphy alone, involves 2 first-round picks at least. I think if you get Trey Murphy, go ahead.
Who commands more on the open market right now? Just trade for trade, player for player.
All right, come on. I know what you're about to say. I'm gonna tell you the answer. The answer is Trey Murphy. It ain't Desmond Bain.
Wow.
Like I had this conversation with a Grizzlies fan. He was like, "Yeah, man, we can trade Bain and get Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. You're not getting it. Like that's not happening.
I just disagree entirely with
You're
you.
not, bro. Like you're kidding.
No, I'm not saying you get Trey Murphy and Herb Jones for Desmond Bain. But if you're saying trade value, I think Desmond Bain has the better trade value.
Trey Murphy makes $10 million less per year than Desmond Bain does. And he's probably a more versatile player. He's not the scorer Desmond Bain is. You're talking about a guy that's like 6'9", like a 6'8", 6'9" wing defender who can knock down threes as well, and he can put the ball on the ground and score. You're gonna pay $10 more million for a guy who's 6'4" with short arms? Come on, man, and can't dribble. Like, stop, bro. Like there's not the better value is Trey Murphy for sure. Like he's the guy that teams with. If both of those guys hit the market, and I'm telling you, in a situation where if you put Desmond Bain on the market, you're gonna have to move a pick with Desmond Bain to move it. No, I'm telling you, bro. All right, bro. I'm telling you, if the Grizzlies move Desmond Bain,
I just don't think
deal is going to include a pick going out from the Grizzlies.
I just don't think Desmond's trade value is that low. I just don't see it being that low. But maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not saying he got low value, but teams aren't. If he goes on the market, you're not going to fleece the team. You're not going to get like a Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. Like that ain't happening.
No, I agree with that.
And somebody was like, "Oh, well, Trey Murphy and a first round pick for Bain." I was like, "Bro, we would be the ones giving the pick out, bro. Like we would take another like throw in player from New Orleans, and we would be sending the pick out to New Orleans. It would not be that way because Desmond Bain's contract is viewed as a bad contract around the league. I'm telling you, bro. From the people I talk to, that contract is not looked at.
Desmond's contract is a bad contract.
Yeah, people say that, and he's got a few years left on that bad boy too. You know what I mean? And so, think about this. How many dudes do you see in the NBA Finals that play like Desmond Bain compared to guys who play like Trey Murphy that are playing still right now or played last round or played in the second round? How many Desmond Bains did you see? Desmond Bain is a lower valued Donovan Mitchell, and he's not nearly as good.
By the way, I don't know if you see this. Wayno's picture is me when I was 15 years old.
Yeah, bro. I know. I've seen that picture before.
That man is wild. That's wild.
Yeah, don't do that to me, Wayno. Take it personal. Let's get the fighting.
Yeah, I think we hold Bain higher than what the market does.
We do, bro. Like I'm not saying. I mean, he's bad. He's a really good player. But if you try to move Desmond Bain, you're not getting like some haul for him.
Let's just not forget, though, to move Jake LaRavia, you had to add picks to the equation.
He had a good year.
You're telling me you think that Dez is in that same boat?
Yes, bro. At the price point he's at, that $36 million price point, if you move Desmond Bain for the players who are in that caliber of contract, you're going to have to send out a pick to move this. Like, that's happening, bro. That is happening. I'm telling you, you're going to have to do that. There might be some guys where you don't have to, but it ain't many. There are not many at all. If you move Desmond Bain and you feel like you're getting a really good player back in return, you're sending out a pick with that deal. If the Pelicans move Trey Murphy, bro, that dude is going to get 2 first-round picks coming from another team to get him. I promise you that's happening.
Okay.
Promise you, bro. Like he's probably in that same because he's super young. He scored like 20-some points a game last year, shot the ball well from 3. You know he can defend. He's going to garner whatever Brooklyn's getting like for a Cam Johnson. Trey Murphy's gonna be right there in that same thing.
True, man.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Ask me what I trade Bain for that dude.
Would you trade Bain?
Yes, and we get him the hell up out of here for Trey Murphy.
Okay.
If contracts didn't matter and they said, "Would you do this guy for that guy?" Yes, I'm getting Bain out of here and I'm getting Trey Murphy in.
Wow.
It's just where I'm at, man. It's just where I'm at.
I have a question. I have a question about the Pelicans before we move on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to get into the stories that are coming out about Zion, the lawsuits, the things like that, the guilt or innocence of that, whatever. That's not up for us to decide or even really talk about it. Maybe at a different time. But what's Zion's future in New Orleans after this? Is he out at this point, or is he even tradable at this point, or what's the deal?
Man, I don't know. I really don't care. I remember Grizzlies fans were like, "Let's trade Jaren for Zion." Yeah, okay. Man, Zion is some dudes just can't get out of their own way, man. And I don't know nothing about this stuff, whether it happened or didn't happen. So I'm sure more stuff will come out. Yeah, they'll be all right, bro. They'll be all right. They ain't got nothing to do with me. We got our own issues.
No, 100%.
We just trying to stay in the league, man. We just try to keep the emblem on our jersey, like Barry Knight said.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 2, man. PJ Haggerty commits to Kansas State. A lot of people including myself, are saying that kid just made bad decisions with all that type of stuff. Not really. my mind has really changed on this kid. Like, because he didn't really take much of a pay cut. I know with the tax stuff, he's going to a state where there is a state income tax, so it's going to hit him a little bit. But he's kind of in a better position as far as playing in a better conference. He kind of stepped out there. It's still a bad decision, but it don't feel as bad as it felt maybe a week or so ago.
Well,
go ahead.
The problem is the demands that his camp made about what he wants. When he left Memphis and entered the transfer portal, he said, I want to be a point guard, I want to have the ball in my hands, and I want to make $4 million a year. And the problem with Kansas State is they got 2 dudes that they got in the transfer portal already that are ball dominant guards that have been promised that point guard position. And so you add PJ Haggerty to the mix, and it's like, okay, the very things that he the very things that he needed to be able to do in college for a final year to make himself more attractive, if you will, to NBA franchises, he's not going to be able to do at Kansas State.
Can he be a midseason transfer like we've required many times with Memphis? Can he be like, oh man, I should have just stayed in Memphis?
He can't play a game for Kansas State.
Oh, he can't play a single game for them.
He can't play a single game for Kansas State.
So Tomlin didn't play no games?
Tomlin didn't play a game.
Because we do have a pipeline between us.
Dante Harris didn't play a game.
Yeah. Oh, for real? I didn't know. Okay. I'm just being funny. I didn't know there were actual rules to that.
You would have to leave. It's the very thing. Like, there were conversations at the beginning of last year about Dane Danger. Will he play? Will he not? And the conversation, like, because there was those.
I remember that.
Right?
Yeah. They were thinking he wasn't going to play last year.
Well,
yeah.
and there was, if you remember, the conversations coming from outside or from inside the thing, what the program was, if we can just get him to Monday night. Well, Monday night was the season opener. And
I remember that now.
And so once he played that game, he was locked in for the semester.
Gotcha.
So
I got you. Okay, I remember that now. But yeah, but we wish our best to PJ Haggerty, man. I ain't mad at him.
No,
he took an L.
He did take an L. I think people have been asking me. I saw Gary say this on his program, and again, Gary's the GOAT. Gary, the way that he speaks on things is great. Gary was applying an old school mindset to a new school situation, in my opinion. He was talking about PJ as saying PJ didn't want to come back to Memphis because of the conference, because of the opponents, and that is not at all the motivation behind PJ leaving Memphis and going to Kansas State. PJ Haggerty's motivation was, well, not PJ, Patrick Haggerty, his father, his motivation was make as much money as we can possibly make. When you then play games, I guess, around that, then those offers that are out there start getting taken away from you. I will say this on this show only. If Memphis had re-offered PJ Haggerty the money that they had guaranteed him, he would not be at Kansas State. He would be at Memphis this year. There were conversations that were happening up until a couple of days before Kansas State was announced that PJ wanted to be back here in Memphis because he loves Penny Hardaway, loves playing for Memphis, and truthfully was going to be guaranteed more money at Memphis than he was at any other school that he was talking to. Well, that offer was no longer on the table. Penny had moved on. And so now he's at Kansas State.
We only got so much we can spend with the NIL stuff, bro. Like,
right.
Yeah. I hate that, though. I think Penny's going to have a good team this year, though. Like, they're about to start their summer spring practices or whatever.
They're all here.
Whatever. Everybody's in town. I like his team, man. Everybody except for Dane Danger. How you feeling? I ask you this every week. How you feeling about Dane?
I don't know. I mean, nothing's changed in the last couple of times that we talked. There's been numerous guys that have made their cases for waivers, that have put their waivers in before Dane did, that have had their waivers granted, that have a case that's not even near what Dane Danger's case is. Do I think he'll play? There's a part of me that fights this like feeling of nothing ever good happens at Memphis kind of deal, right? Like nothing. The NCAA will never support what Memphis is trying to do. Show us love. Do I think his case makes sense? Yes. Do I think he'll play? I'm 50-50, bro. I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know.
I need that man because if you got him, you're going to look good. Without him, you're going to You're going to be good. If you ain't going to be good, you would be with Dane. Yeah, for sure. Number 3, Kenny Summerfield, the Memphis Showboats end their season 2-8. The question is, Kenny Summerfield,
are we going to end the show with Memphis Showboats?
Yes. The question is, are they done in Memphis?
Yes.
Quick answer.
Yes.
We don't give a damn.
Who cares?
We appreciate y'all for coming on the Anthony Sain show. The ugly ass goddamn uniforms, ugly ass logo. Y'all should have brought the boat with the red shit and the gray shit. This shit Reggie. If it was good enough for Reggie White, it's good enough for whoever the hell played for the Showboats, man. Hey, we don't give a damn. Get this crap out of here, man. Anyway, but if anybody, everybody. Anyway, we appreciate y'all, man. People in the comments, we appreciate y'all. People who started off on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you saw this and came on over, we appreciate y'all. We're going to do this each and every day, man, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Shout out to One Accord International Church. Had a good time, man. This is just the beginning. We're going to crank this up each and every day. Y'all know how we do things over here at the Anthony Sain show. But, man, we usually say something like we'll see y'all on Friday or we'll see y'all next week. But no, it's over with. We Monday through Friday. We'll see y'all tomorrow, man, and we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.